You're watching Cheery TV.
Howdy everybody, and welcome back to Stranded Deep, in conversation where we talk about the things that I want to talk about because it's my conversation that we are stranded in. That's such a great opening. I gotta use that more. We're here today to talk about, of course, my lost media. Things that I have recorded, I have made, just things that, creatively speaking, I was a part of that have never seen the light of day, will never see the light of day because they are gone, they are lost, they are kaput. Whatever reason, they don't exist anymore. A bunch of stuff. Honestly, there's a lot of things. And to be completely honest, this is a very similar discussion as to one I have already made quite a while ago called Cotton 4K, where I had talked about stories of like things that I recorded myself doing, or like just stuff like that. So some of this is going to overlap is the right word, but generally speaking, there should definitely be some newer stories in here. But also, that was episode 24 of this series, which was over 2 years ago, which is insane. That was November of 2022, and only 2 people ever watched it. So honestly, it's due a re-upload. Let me see what. It's about most of the same stuff. Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, we're cool. Yeah, because there is a couple things that I want to talk about that are very similar to that, but there's some other stuff that I'm not going to talk about today. Like for instance, my kindergarten video that I still have, which is insane. That's not lost media. That's a thing I just have. It was my kindergarten graduation, and we were all just... I think that was around when we just watched it, because we saw it, and we're like, holy shit, we still have this, let's watch it. And we watched it, and it was demented. It was just a bunch of literally 5-year-olds just doing some weird-ass, like... It felt like something out of, like, Monty Python. Because at one point, one of the kids took, like, a wizard hat and just started prancing around the fucking stage while we all were, like, singing to him. It was very weird. It was a very weird thing that I'd go a bit more in depth with in that episode. So go watch it or listen to it if you want to. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about my lost media, which is just, as I mentioned, things that I've recorded, I've made that have not seen the light of day for one reason or another. And this all kind of stemmed from last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't really remember the exact time frame, but I was talking with my friends on Discord for like hours. Like this was like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, basically, by the time we were done. And at one point, one of my friends mentioned that he had a bunch of old videos from his old phone saved on his computer. And when he said old, I thought he would mean like, whatever, but it was... And it was a bunch of recordings that he made back when we were in 8th grade, and we were just hanging outside my house. Like all of our friends were just hanging out, and he would just record it, and he saved it, and he kept it on his computer, and he still has those videos. That was almost 10 years ago now. Like 8th grade, for me, I'm 22. I was 13. I was almost 10 years ago. Crazy to think about, but that's insane. So we literally just had like a movie night basically for a couple hours where we were just watching these horribly cringy but really just nostalgic and just like, not nostalgic, but like really just in the feels videos, I guess, us with our friends and just hanging out and doing the dumbest shit. It reminded me of a lot of things that me and my friends used to do. Like we had a really big running gag of just running up to our friends and taking off our shoes and taking them and just running away with them. We just did that. We just thought, hey, they can't run after us if they only got one shoe. Let's take their shoe and then let's just book it. That's what we did. Actually, off topic, but we used to do that in the library too. Like we would just... there was a name for it. It was Pikachu. It was like whoever was doing it was Pikachu. It was usually me or one of my other friends. But we would just go under the table, and while a couple of my friends would be trying to actually do work at the library, we would go under the table and untie and grab off their shoes. in a matter of seconds. I got really good at it. Like, I did it a lot because I was really good at it. I could take people's shoes off like it was nothing. But, yeah, I just did that for a while, and that was just the thing. And seeing that happen was very interesting. It was very surreal to see it from 10 years ago and hear all of our voices 10 years ago. It was crazy. It's actually insane. That's why I genuinely believe that video is way more important to, like, try to hold on to than, like, pictures. Like, if I had a picture of us during that day, I'd be like, oh, yeah, that's nice. That was a good memory. But I could go back and watch that memory, which is just fucking insane. It's like whenever I go anywhere now, like if I go, like, somewhere cool, I take videos. I don't take pictures anymore. I went to the aquarium back in July. I took so many videos of these freaking little dudes just doing stuff. Me and my sister just hanging out at the aquarium. Because I'm going to be able to look back at that and relive the memory. Not just in my brain, but, like, on the screen. It's really cool. And that's one of the main reasons I actually started doing YouTube, and specifically Stranded Deep. Because I wanted to keep these stories in my brain. Because I didn't want to just, like, sort of remember it and keep remembering it until I just kind of had a completely distorted memory of that story. I wanted to get those out as fresh and as well out as I could have. It's just really cool being able to see that, and it was fascinating, and it got me thinking about all the other stuff that I've recorded before that I never got a chance to save because I didn't have a phone until, like, high school, and by that point I didn't really care much about having the phone or taking pictures or anything. I think I maybe had like 30 pictures for like a long time, and even now I only have like over 1,000 because I took so many damn pictures and videos, mainly videos, while we were out in Brooklyn the last couple times. So otherwise I'm pretty tapped out on pictures and stuff because I don't really, like, even with like my pets, I like having the pictures obviously, but having a video of them running around and shit is so much nicer than just remembering that later, you know? It's crazy. And that brings us to the first of many situations of me. Well, this is actually the only time I think, at least I have here, of recordings of something, because most of those are still caught in 4K. So go watch that one if you want. But the one thing I will mention from there is my old 3DS videos, because I didn't have a phone when I was a kid, and I watched a lot of YouTube and I watched a lot of stuff, and I was like, oh man, I want to like record stuff and like do silly things on the recording and stuff. But I didn't have like a computer that could. I had a computer, but I didn't know how to do that on a computer. I was a kid, and I didn't have a phone, so I couldn't record it on my phone. So what I would do is I would take my 3DS, my horrible 3DS camera. Everyone who's had a 3DS knows how fucking disgustingly terrible the quality of that is. But I would take that everywhere as if it was a phone. And I would open it up and I would turn it on and open the camera. And I would kill the shit out of that battery. That thing did not last when it was in camera mode. But I recorded so many things on that thing. There's so many, just countless memories. I'm sure I actually took that out to record outings because I saw my friend doing it. I was like, oh, that sounds fun. I'm sure I had those on my old 3DSs, but they're all gone now. So all of those videos are nothing but a memory to me now. But there were a few that I remember very vividly, and I'm going to talk about 4 of those today, at least for the start of this episode. The first one is very quick, very short. It was... This is, I think, one of the first things I even did on the 3DS when I first got it. We were eating, me and my older sister were eating Better Cheddars at the table. And this was at a time when Better Cheddars actually tasted good. And I don't know if that's because we were idiots or because they actually had a better recipe back then. Because I feel like a couple months later, I saw that video on my DS. I was like, oh yeah, I haven't had Better Cheddars in a bit. And we tried them and they were disgusting. So they changed really quick. But at the time, Better Cheddars were like the best thing. We were hooked on them. It was like freaking phonics. We were still hooked on them. And, you know, we just ate the shit out of them. And at one point, I just pulled out my DS and was just like, oh, dude, what if we would do like an ad? And then I literally just we had the Better Cheddars on the table. And it was me and my sister, because they went along with this. I don't really know the entire setup for it, but it was literally just me and my sister. I was just like instead of like zooming, because you can't really zoom with that camera, I would just pan out, pan in, like just move back and forth, like while shaking the shit out of the camera, like Better Cheddars, the way to go, Better Cheddar, way to go. And they were doing like freaking like backing track and shit. It was so stupid. It wasn't, and I think I was doing like a Kermit the Frog voice, like Better Cheddar, way to go. but like, like it was so stupid. But because it was so stupid, it was such a formative memory. And that started a very long list of just dumb videos that I used to do with that thing. And I can't remember a whole lot of them, but that one was the first, and it was a lot of fun. Honestly, dude, 3DS used to be awesome. It was like a note app. There was a note app that was on there. I don't remember what it was called. It was green doodle app. Doodle, like you can it was like a bunch of like stationery you can unlock with like the play coins, and then you can like just draw little you can do like little videos. I remember that. That was awesome. This is a completely separate thing to what I have written down. But what the hell was it called? What was it called? Doodle Pad or whatever? 3DS Note app. What the hell was it called? Was it Flipnote? It might have been. No, it wouldn't have been Flipnote because it wasn't. It was literally just something stupid. Ah, man. Hold on, I'm pausing. It was fucking Swap Notes. Swap Note was awesome because before you can literally just like make little notes and like do little drawings and shit. And you had like a certain amount of ink per page. And what me and my sister would do all the time is we unlocked basically everything for that. And then for days, we would just doodle little things, like make little stories on these freaking notepads. You got like 10 pages to draw, to write out, or draw whatever you wanted to do. And we just drew and drew and drew. It was so much fun. Like, I don't remember any of the stories at all. But I remember doing that for so long, and I remember loving it. And I remember what most I remember is going back to it after a while of not doing it because I didn't have a 3DS. So I think that one broke or got lost or whatever. And I finally got a new one. I was like, oh, dude, we can do this again. And we opened the app, and it was completely different. They like monetized it. They got rid of like 90% of the actual cool shit, and it was just sad. It was just made us sad because we unlocked so many different cool backgrounds. I remember sitting up for hours, shaking the shit out of that freaking 3DS because I wanted to get enough coins to unlock like the soccer background, and I did a whole little soccer game. I remember that one. I unlocked a soccer background. I was like, I'm gonna draw a little soccer game. So I had like little people on each side, like kicking the ball around, and eventually the left side scored, and they won. A bunch of little colored confetti came on the screen. It was so cool. It was so cool, and I cannot believe that they ruined that app. And obviously the 3DS is gone now, so it's not all that important. But I loved that. That was such a fucking cool thing for me. I just loved that. It was super cool. I just loved anything that was like just making a little story. Like even like back in school when like we would be like just doing nothing. There was always like there's one substitute teacher that like instead of like learning or whatever, we would just draw comics. They just wanted us to draw comics. And I did, and I had a lot of fun doing that, and they always liked mine, and I was like, yeah, I like mine too. There's always these two, it was like Pac-Man, it was like a little Pac-Man face doing some stupid shit, and but it wasn't like Pac-Man, it was Pac-Man with like a little hat, and like a little, like a big sleeved jacket. I could probably draw him right now. Hold on. It was this stupid son of a bitch. Sorry if there's anything actually interesting happening on the screen. I haven't actually recorded it yet, obviously. But this is what I would draw. This was the goal dude. And he would always be doing some stupid stuff in the comics. And I remember, because I would always do the hat. I always thought it was such a fun little idea, because I would have the hat come off, and whatever extra was on his head, like his little Pac-Man head, I would just shade it in, and that would be his hat. I always thought that was really fucking cool. And this character actually stems off into a completely different thing that we used to do. And I did write. I was going to talk about. I'll talk about it now. I used to have like a little notebook that I called Simple Logic, and this was almost like a book. I basically was writing a book, except it was very much so just like a stupid book. It wasn't like an actual story or anything. I did make like story comics, but I don't remember anything about them, and I don't have any of them saved, unfortunately, so I have no idea what they were. But this I remember specifically because it was fucking awesome. It was a whole notebook, and it was dedicated to just stupid little things. Like, every page was its own rule in the Simple Logic, because it was literally just like, Simple Logic rule number 1, don't cry over spilled milk, and then it would just show this character fucking weeping his ass over spilled milk, and then like the second part of the thing would be like, because you'll die or something stupid, or it's like because then someone will someone will dump milk on your head or whatever. It was just stupid shit, and it was a lot of like inside jokes too, and it was so awesome. And I remember showing that to like my sisters and like my friends, and they thought it was, well, my sisters thought it was funny, my friends thought it was stupid, which is about the same response I get from most things from them. Because they're fun, they're cool dudes, I love them all. But yeah, like it was a really just stupid thing that I just really put a lot of time into when I was a kid. There was probably hundreds of simple logic rules, and they were all just like, hey, don't be third in line, and if you're waiting for their bathroom, because it's gonna be stinky, and then it would just show him like vomiting from inside the toilet or whatever. It was just really stupid shit. There was no plot or anything. It was just a little book that I just made little doodles in. And I was like, oh yeah, need to make, don't cross the street without looking all three ways. Where's the third way? And then it would just like make him looking like he like dig a tunnel down to make sure no one was underneath the ground. It was just stupid stuff, and it was really, I honestly want to make that again, because I feel like I guess wish I still had it. And it pains me that, like, I love my family, right? They're cool dudes. My mom is a great person. I love them for who they are. But my goodness, they were like the opposite of a hoarder. If they thought we had too much stuff, they got rid of it. So that was one of the things I got rid of, and I just completely lost all just motivation to keep going, because I made that for years. I spent years just making little doodles every now and again and be like, oh yeah, this is a little thing, simple logic, rule number 722. It never got up to 700, but at one point I just started making random numbers like, oh yeah, if you're gonna count to 10, try to count to 9 because it'll be faster. And then it was dumb. I was a child. It was really stupid, but I genuinely liked that. And I still do like the idea of it, so I might wind up doing that one day. Especially with this little character dude. This is a really fucking stupid character dude, and I love him. I think he's awesome, and I think if I were to ever... Like, okay, this is actually, like, kind of self-reporting on myself, but I'm gonna do it. Not, like, in a bad way, but, like, in a... I didn't think I'd ever actually talk about it this way. Back in November of last year, I was putting myself under a lot of stress because I wanted to change the channel entirely. I wanted to do it a completely different thing, not even Cherry TV. Like, I literally have an email set up for a completely different email that I was going to use to start up a completely different channel. And it was going to be like every other week I was going to do an animated series. I was going to do like a very stereotypical like YouTube storytime animator thing. And it was gonna be just gonna be me doing that like every couple of weeks about like a short story that I had. I wanted to do that, and I still kind of do, because I still do like that. I love that content, and I love the idea of making that, because it's just a quick little story, a little dumbass little drawing, and I made it to look kind of like me, which now that I think about it, I like that, but at the same time, like it never felt right. Like that's one of the main reasons I never did it, because it just felt like a lot, and it felt wrong at the same time. Because I actually did make the intro for that. I think I still have the entire intro for that, which could count as lost media if I can find it on here. I don't know if I ever actually downloaded it, but it is on my computer. I'm sure I could find it. I don't think you guys are ready for this. This is this is my... Keep in mind, I did this in the span of like 2 days total, probably. I think this is the right one. I did this in maybe like 2-3 days. It was just me and my stupid attempts at just trying to do a little thing. And this was going to be my character, obviously colored in. It was going to look more like me. Obviously, I don't know how to draw very well, so this was going to be a very poorly drawn thing. I haven't watched this since last year when I made this, because it was going to drop on a completely different channel, and I was going to do these every other week. This was going to be a thing for me. And I still do kind of want to do it, but I never did it. So I'm just going to watch this with you guys. I forget entirely how this goes. It's probably very bad.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing amazing. Howdy. So, my name is Harris, and welcome to my channel. Tate Animates.
Oh.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
that was gonna be
completely
the name
honest
of the
with you guys.
channel.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
The leg
I'm
isn't
not
even
what
on the
one
right
would say
thing.
is the best artist or even a good artist. Heck, I don't even think I've ever called myself an artist before. But that's okay. Where I may lack in super dope, super well-made animations, I plan on making up for with my silly stories and rambling about whatever interests me.
Those
I
were
thought
all
about
those are
doing
gonna
this
be
like
the
a
first few.
storytime channel for a while now. I like talking stupid with my
And
friends
I
and
think
family.
I just gave up at
and
that
I figured
point.
I'd share some of that
This is-
stupid with you guys. As for the
Yeah.
animated part, I don't know. I like to draw, despite kind of sucking butt at it. And I find animated stories on YouTube really interesting and fun, so I figured, hey, why not just give it a try?
Yeah.
I did a lot of comics and stuff as a kid, but it was only ever
True.
on paper, so there's no paper trail on the internet for me.
True.
Or I
It's
guess
lost
a data
media.
trail. Plenty of paper was harmed during the making of my drawings, though. Let me make that very clear. I had a lot of fun with it, though, and I've done little animated flipbooks before on Post-it notes, so I'm practically halfway there in terms of the skills I need, I'm sure.
Exactly.
And the plan is to do every other week. I'm going to post here, so you should see at least 2 videos a month. And I know that sounds pretty straightforward, and it still kind of does to me, but I'm still very new to this whole idea, so things may change going forward, but either way, I'm still really excited to give this a try. If you're excited too, feel free to, subscribe so you can come along on this journey and grow with me.
Man,
If you like my stories and want to see more of me, I do have a main channel called Cheery Tate.
that's
It's
me.
mostly gaming,
Oh
but some
yeah,
other
I
stuff
was
happens there too. I have
still
a series
Cheery
every Thursday
Tate,
called
man.
Stranded Deep in Conversation.
That's
where I just
it, that's
ramble
this.
about stuff and tell stories for like 30, 45
Let's
minutes.
go.
So if you want longer, less scripted versions of what goes on here, check it out. Thanks for watching, and have a good rest of your day. Bye, everybody.
Man, that was honestly, okay, let's go back to Stranded Deep now. Man, that actually really hit me in the feels. I wasn't expecting to be that. I was gonna be like, I should go back and like do that, but like have my other character be like me. But that actually made me. I feel really not proud because it didn't come out. That's the thing with Lost Media. It never came out. I never finished this. But just seeing what I was able to do for those couple days, man, the idea, I really do still want to do that. I really do, because I love that idea. I love that method of storytelling where you can kind of add the illustrations in, so you can kind of, man, I really, dude, I'm in my feels right now. I wasn't expecting to be. That's really awesome. It's not awesome. It was terrible. It was bad, and the scripting was bad, and the talking was bad. But man, that's just it. I had like a couple of like already like recordings done for the talking bits of this. I had like several stories already scripted and everything ready to go. I just never got around to it. I never got around to doing the doodling. And I really would like to. I want to go back. Obviously that was like some free software. I think, what is it called? It is, I thought it would tell me. It's not telling me. Either way, it's literally just free software. Everything I used was free software. But man, that really makes me want to go back and do that. Because I genuinely had a lot of fun doing that. It was very tedious. And obviously I still had like 1,000 frames to go. So I was really setting myself up for some success there. But I don't know. It really seemed... I enjoyed that. Obviously I make this stuff so people enjoy it too, but I care about me enjoying it a lot, and that genuinely brought a smile to my face. So again, see, it's the audio and the video aspect that really just makes it feel so much more. If that was just one image with the thing over it, I wouldn't genuinely have felt so. I wouldn't feel so weird right now, but it brought me back to that. Literally last year, I was doing that, and I was just at a junction where I was just like, man, am I gonna hard pivot to this? And I was really considering it. And obviously I'm not now. Like I do like my format currently, but man, that looks fun. Like again, it seems I don't know. I really don't know. I want to do that eventually. I do. I really do. I have like thumbnails made for this. I don't know if I ever actually saved them, but I know I have them on the website that I do, because I use Pixlr. I don't use Photoshop. I use Pixlr online. I'm sure they're still there because I never got. Yeah, I had 2 thumbnails ready. I was gonna talk about my fever dream, my COVID fever dream, and my stink bug, Desmond the stink bug. To talk about that. That was 371 days ago. It was over a year ago that I did all that. Wow. And it looks so terrible, but also like, I love it. I love this. Like, here are the thumbnails. These, by all accounts, are absolutely terrible. But I cannot help but smile and just, I honestly just tear up a little bit at this. Both that I've tried this and it never actually came to fruition. I honestly don't know how I feel about this. I wasn't expecting to talk about this, which is so strange because it kind of segued really well through everything, but I wasn't expecting to talk about this at all. And honestly, I don't know. This means a lot to me. This idea that I really do still want to do it, but I just don't know. I don't know how. I know how I've started it, and obviously there's thumbnails and everything. The whole the thought process is there. I just never got around to finishing it, or even really starting it to begin with. And that's the thing with lost media. Usually when it's lost, there was progress made. There was progress made for the intro, I guess. But it's a shame. Sometimes I get lost media that's complete. This is not complete, but it's a travesty. But that's the thing, and that's why I'm going to keep my head up high and stay positive about this, because the thing with how Cheery TV works is that at any moment I could just launch a new series, and however long it takes to come out, it'll come out and I'll be happy. So I really do want to work on this. There's so many things I want to work on for this damn channel. You have no idea. It takes for my current schedule, trying to get things to work perfectly is very tough. And also just trying to find the motivation on the days that I have off to actually do some of the stuff I want to do is tough too, because I have so many days on work, which I don't mind. I love my job. It's easy and it's fun, and I love the people there, and honestly it's fine. But it takes a lot out of you. I mean, it's just 8 hours of mostly manual labor. So I get really tired. And my days off, I like to just relax or just do some normal, basic, just like play a video game, just easy stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that I really do want to do with this channel. And I'm seeing this genuinely. I'm gonna start crying if I keep talking about this. I didn't mean to get sentimental on this episode, I promise. But yeah, I just have a lot of things that I really want to do. Cause I enjoy telling stories. I enjoy making content. This is fun. This is so much fun. I might disappear just to do one of these. I'm not even kidding. I might just disappear off the face of the earth just so I could attempt to make one of these. Because and this isn't foreshadowing. I know I missed the last couple of streams. I'm recording this Friday morning. At like 3 in the morning. It's very late in the morning. I told you my sleep schedule is shitty, and I'm just trying to. I like doing the reset method of just staying up the whole night and then going to bed when I feel tired tomorrow. That's what like later, preferably when I want to go to bed from now on. So that's the plan right now. So I'm up here just doing this and remembering. And honest, I can't believe that was a year ago, man. That was a year ago where I had that idea. And I still think it's a really good idea. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm going to segue away from Tate Animates, because honestly, I have to do that. That's okay. We'll stop. We'll stop. We'll talk about some other content though that I had tried to make for this channel, but ultimately it failed. And most of it was actually very early on. The 2 stories that I have are very early on. Literally, the second episode of anything I tried to record is lost. I consider it lost media now, because I was in the middle of recording and the second episode to my Retro Bowl playthrough. For those of you who don't know, the first ever thing I uploaded to this channel was around this time in November. It actually already passed, technically, the 3-year anniversary of me making stuff on this channel. but I don't really count that. I count it more so like March 7th, I think, was when I did Table for One and actually started consistently uploading. That's when I consider my start. So it's not for another like 4 months, but just I tried to make that a series. I was just gonna sort of like very like just nonchalant, chillax gameplay stuff was just gonna be the series, and I was it was just gonna be playing Retro Bowl and talking over it and having a good time. And I did like that first episode, even though the mic quality was terrible. Everything about it was terrible. It was my first video. You know what you expect. And the second, I was really in the middle of recording the second one. I was just doing back-to-back recordings of it, just having a good time. And halfway through the call, halfway through the call, I'm spoiling the story. Halfway through the video, recording it, I got a phone call. And that phone call was actually the manager at the store that I work at currently. It was gonna be my first job, and I was really nervous. And I got the call, and I just stopped everything because I didn't want any problems or troubles or anything. So I hard quit OBS before, which is this recording software for those of you who don't know. And I just went along with the call, and I was done. And I was like, oh, dude, this sounds positive. I think he actually really likes me, and like everything went well. He said, hey, yeah, he worked these days, and I was like, yeah. And he's like, all right, well, come on in a couple of days, and we'll get you set up. I'm like, yay! So it all went really well, and I went to go continue the recording, but I kind of only realized afterwards that I quit OBS, and for whatever reason, it corrupted everything. That's like sometimes when it closes, it'll like keep it. It did not keep it this time. And I mean, that was my second time ever recording anything, so I didn't know that was a thing I couldn't do. So, yeah, that rest of the episode never saw the light of day, and that series just ended there with that first episode. 'Cause after that, I put it on the back burner so I could focus on work. But then after a few months, I realized I was spending my entire mornings and evenings and everything just sitting there anticipating work. So I was like, maybe I should just do something in the intermediate so I can feel like I'm still being productive. Because I didn't want to like play games, because I was like, well, what if I play a game and I get invested and then I have to go to work? Or like, what if I play a game and then I just don't want to go to work or whatever? I was too afraid to lose the wanting to work that I didn't do anything during my day. I was too focused on just being ready for work. And so I was like, well, let me just make this almost as if it was like work. Obviously not getting paid for this. I'm never going to get paid for this. This is strictly a thing I do because it is fun, and I have a lot of stupid ideas, and it's man. And yeah, that episode, that series just died when that thing corrupted, which makes perfect sense. The other thing that I have from the channel, which is I'm really upset about this one. I really am. I very early on was playing with my friends, playing For the King, and we just started one of those like little sub chapters. It was like an ice level, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna record it. And so I started recording it, and we played through the entire game. There were so many funny jokes, so many funny happenings. Like, one of my friends was using a bow, and he never hit it. And every time we would shit on him so hard. It was terrible, but it was a lot of fun. It was a very fun little event. And that was the first time I think we've ever actually properly won For the King. And we also like played through the entire thing in one go. It was like 4 hours of playing. And I was like, oh, dude, this is going to be great. And I stopped the recording, and when we all hop off, I go off to like watch it and see what happened, and I'm like, wait a minute, something's not right here. The recording is only for like 58 seconds. What the fuck happened? And I watch it, and like the first like 20 seconds or so is us talking and getting ready to start, because I started recording like as we were getting ready, and like as the first person was taking their turn, I must have hit a button, and I know what button I hit. It was like, I actually don't know which button I hit, but just like the day or two before, I had set hotkeys on OBS to like, so that way if I need to like stop recording on a dime or start recording on a dime, I could have that ready, that possibility there. But apparently I must have made stop recording the minus button and start recording the plus button, which are buttons I never expected to hit until For the King, where I thought I was trying to zoom in on the map, And I was like, how do you zoom in? Maybe if I hit like plus and minus to just zoom in and out. And I didn't think twice about it. I hit minus to stop recording. And then I didn't hit plus again until the very end of the playthrough, where I just hit plus for reasons I don't even know. And then I just caught the tail end of us talking. Like, yeah, it was fun. Alright, bye. And that was it. That was it. That was all I had. I had 50. It was like super excited start, and then just bam, ending. It was like that. And thinking about it now, that's so fucking funny. Just being like, oh, we're gonna start this great adventure. It's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna have to edit this thing down. Literally 58 seconds of nothing happening. Just beginning, end. That's it. That was all that was there, and barely any of it. I thought it was. I think it's hilarious. Back then, I was so mad. I was pissed off about that. So I just immediately deleted it and didn't look back. I was like, fucking, this is so stupid. I wasted all the... It was so much waste. I could have... man. Because, like, I wanted to keep that. I wanted to, like, remember us playing that playthrough. And I remember that, and we can go back and watch it. But can't, because it's dead. It fucked up the recording. It was so sad. Other things that I wrote down in here are just kind of a bunch of little things. From my criminology classes in high school, I would make little drawings on the tests on the very bottom, because I would always finish hella early, because I was like the one competent person in that class, and I'm okay with admitting that, because I wasn't that good of a student. I was honestly actually a pretty good student. I was good in school. But that class was also just very easy. But most of the people in that class did not pay attention, and so during the tests, it took a while, and I didn't want to hand in my test because then I would have nothing to do. I didn't have a phone, or I did have a phone, but it wasn't like a good phone. So I didn't. And also, I don't think they'll let you touch your phone afterwards. So either way, I would have just had nothing to do if I turned in my test. So what I would do, I would just start drawing on it, just doodling. I doodle like every fucking notebook I have. Every notebook I have has some form of doodle in it somewhere. And I would just doodle on the test because I didn't know what else to do. I did this a lot. I once actually, this is a weird story. One time for I think it was a chemistry thing. We were just doing stuff, and I started drawing. I drew like a really realistic snake based off of an image that was on the wall, and then I made it slowly worse and degraded in like image. I think I have a picture of that somewhere, which I'm not going to go find right now, but it was really cool. So if you guys remind me, if you're on stream, I'll be streaming the next few days. So let me know, and I'll try to find it. But yeah, there was that, and there was also a time where I drew a Grand Wizard of the KKK, and I was like, uh-oh, Grand Wizard of the KKK, and I was like, they're not going to find this funny. I just thought it would be like a little, ooh, you found me, you know, it was really stupid. It was really bad. I thought that stuff was funny. I still kind of do, to be honest. Just flipping the page and seeing that just out of nowhere. It's kind of funny, but I was like, maybe it'd be more funny if it was a character that wasn't as offensive. So I was like, okay, I need to turn this in as well. I need to turn this paper in. This was on there. It's like, oh fuck, what am I gonna do? So I quickly, I like colored it in with like red pen. So what I did quickly was I drew like little blue legs on it, and I drew a little webbing on its chest. I was like, uh-oh, Spider-Man! And I turned a Grand Wizard of KKK into Spider-Man before I turned it in for my test. Or my work or whatever. And they didn't catch it. And I definitely took a picture of that one. That will also not be shown right now because I don't want to find it. But that was very funny. Yeah, I did a lot of drawing on my stuff. Okay, one of these isn't actually lost media. I'm going to say that one for last because I might bring that up too so we can look over it. Another thing that happened, and I know I had other 3DS videos to talk about. If you want to hear more about those, I do suggest just watching COD in 4K because I'm not going to get to those today. I don't want to make this too long. I don't like going over like 50 minutes if I can because I feel like that's a decent summary of time. So it's probably gonna wrap it up pretty soon. So I apologize, but COD in 4K does talk about those things. For just so you know, the main headlines are Trip to Philadelphia, Battlefield commentary, and the Guinea Pig Olympics. Maybe if we have time, I'll talk about the Guinea Pig Olympics because that one's always a really fun story. But for now, it remains lost media in the lost media episode. So there you go. But back in 8th grade, going back to 8th grade, a time where my friend was taking those videos, we had classes because we were in school, and one of those classes was science, and we were learning about Punnett squares this time around in this year. And Punnett squares basically like show you the odds of like genetic circumstance happening, I guess is the best way to describe it. So like if one person, or if you take a person with brown eyes and a person with blue eyes, what are the odds that your baby is born with blue eyes? Well, it depends, because that's what the Punnett square is for. So it like shows you all the possibilities for each like different trait that a person could have. And it's cool, like the odds of that. He's trying to roll the dice there. It's really fucking cool. And so one of the things to emphasize this was they had a project called The Snorks, which is based off of a show that I recently talked about, I think during a stream, which is kind of crazy to think about. I think it was when I was making APOM or something for I don't remember, but either way. Yeah, so we were making a Snork. So basically they had these Punnett squares, and we had to like just I don't know if it was like drawing numbers or rolling a die to a certain type of die. I don't remember what it was, but we had to like get our results, and then with those results make a Snork with those features. So like one with a bendy top on its head, one with a straight top on its head, like a straight little tube thing. That's how the Snorks looked. Did it have legs? Did it have no legs? Did it have 3 arms or 4 arms or 2 arms? Or did it have like a tongue or no tongue, like eyes or one big eye, stuff like that. And I took my Snork and I took the pieces I needed and I made one, and I was really happy with it. And I had a lot of fun doing that. And I was like, oh, but what if I made it like this? And so I drew another one. And I was like, well, what if it goes like this? And I made another one, and another one, and another one. And by the time I need to turn in this project, I had 26 different versions of these Snorks. I had one for every letter of the alphabet. I made sure that every letter was going to have the Snork. And I was going to turn them all in, because I was just having a lot of fun with it. And I was like, this would be cool. And my science teacher, and this also took like a couple weeks. Like it was like during like state tests. Like we'd be done with state tests, and I'd just be drawing Snorks like when I was done. I had so much fun doing that. And my teacher, I turned these in, and I'm like, hey, I got 26. And she gathers like the whole freaking class to come over and look at all of mine and shit, because there were so many. And I put a lot of work into every single one of those, so they all turned out awesome. But the thing is, I didn't have a damn camera, so I didn't take pictures of them. And I wish I did, because they were all so fucking cool. And I had a lot of fun doing them. And they never gave them back. Like normally, they gave like every other project back. They gave other people's Snorks back. They did not give my Snorks back, and I don't know why. And it genuinely hurts me, because it's not like they wanted to keep them for themselves. Because they said they were going to have like a whole board. They were gonna like put mine on the billboard, all of mine, because they were so freaking amazed that I did that. That they were gonna put the projects on the billboard. They normally do. They were gonna put like a whole section dedicated to all of mine. I felt so proud. Like all my work came into it was worth it, which it was, by the way, because they were the type of teacher that was like, oh, let me make sure if you actually did this correctly, which is a good thing. They were a really good teacher. But the first one I made was A. And A, actually, they declined as a possibility, because they didn't like how I made like the tail or something. So had I not gone back and made 26 of them, I would have failed my project, because it wasn't up to snuff with the Punnett square. They failed like 4 of them, but one of them was the first one. So I'm glad I did it. Ultimately, it saved my ass, because I probably would have lost some points on that project. But I had a lot of fun doing that. And then they promised they'd put it up on the board. They never did. And then they never gave my Snorks back. And to this day, I'm still mad about it. I'm still not over it. I miss those Snorks, because that was one of the... I spent weeks on that, just making dumb little dudes, and I wish I still had them. I wish I still kept so many more things from my childhood. And that's kind of, I guess, what this is all to say at the end of the day. I had a lot of really fun drawings, really fun little, like, just books, like little stories I wrote, just a bunch of stuff. Because I loved just making shit. I love making things. It's so much fun to make videos and make drawings and make stories, make anything. I love that with a passion. Making music too. I like making music. I don't know if you guys know that. I like musical instruments. I like to play them. I like to play people's songs. I like to write my own songs. Most of my songs do not have music because I don't really. I started writing songs lyrically before I started knowing how to play music. So I don't know how to really combine them yet. But I'm working on it. And it's so much fun. And I have so much genuine passion for everything that I do. It's really weird. Because I love the thing that I do, but I also love like 8 other things that I could be doing. So like I love what I'm doing with this channel, as I mentioned before, Tate Animates, and I say that because he's still on my screen because of how my software works. I still see all the thumbnails for this. And I look at something like that where it was a lot more work, but it genuinely brought me so much joy to do and look back on. That it really just stings to know that sometimes when you're working on other things, you have to give up others. I had to give up working on this because I pivoted back towards just game stuff with like Cheery TV. And don't get me wrong, I'm having so much fun with Cheery TV. I love the idea of different episodes, different like series as being different like TV channels and stuff. But I wanted to do like intros for them all. And it's been a year almost, and I haven't made intros for like any of them, but Retro Bowl and Table for One, which already had an intro. But yeah, but to be fair, doing this got me the idea of making the intro animated. I animated that whole intro myself. I drew everything in that intro screen myself. That was all me. Because of doing stuff like this, it kind of gave me the leeway into doing it. Gave me the groundwork. And I really do, especially with Tate Animates. I don't know what it was, but just seeing that really makes me happy. Seeing everything I do makes me really happy, but like the stuff that takes a lot of effort really makes me happy at the end. Like Terraire AI I was so proud of that once it was done, and like that was on my birthday, and just watching as like people started getting so confused and flabbergasted, like, whoa, my god, an AI is playing Terraria and it's uploading it every 15 minutes. That's crazy. Like it was such a fun project. Retro Bowl is always fun. So many projects that I do kind of just are very basic. Like a lot of the stuff I do on this is very basic, and for a reason. I wanted to make them easy so that way I had time to work on bigger things. But time is such a strange thing. You always feel like you can game it, but you never really have enough time to do everything. So you have to prioritize some stuff. And what you want to prioritize changes over time. It does. It does. And man. I'm not trying to say anything, by the way. I'm still here. We're still kicking. We're still kicking the can down to the lake, and we're going to drown it. So it's fine. I'm just realizing that I could be doing things in a better way. Or at least I'm thinking about better ways to do things. And I want to. I'm gonna think. I'm gonna really, like, I'm on vacation soon, because I mean, for those of you who haven't been here before, for the first couple weeks of December, I go AWOL. So I can kind of just take a break from recording stuff, or at least like uploading stuff, so I can think about 12 days of Cheermas, and also just give myself a break. The first year I did it, I put a lot of time from those 12 days off into doing it, even though like power and everything was like fucking kablooey mess. Then the year after that, I kind of just waited, and I feel like it's pretty obvious that I waited. This year I want to do bigger stuff. I really do. I want to make some cool, because I just really like doing this. I really do, and trying to brain blast some ideas. And but what also is good, because I actually finally have a vacation off of work, because I've saved it all up for the end of the year. Not intentionally, just that's how it worked out. And I'm going, mainly it's because one of my old coworkers is coming around. They moved out to California. They're coming back around to just say hey, and I'm going to say hey with them for a few days. There's going to be days where I don't have anything to do. In those days, I'm going to really try to figure out a proper schedule, figure out a proper regime, which I know is a weird thing to say, going 3 years strong, almost 3 years strong into doing this. But there's so many other things that I want to do. Tate Animates. There has been one parody idea for a song that I've wanted to do before I even started this channel, that I figured this would be a great time to do it. This would be a good window to do this sort of stuff. A good medium. Never did it. Haven't done it since. I thought about it, but I haven't done it. And because I just don't think I have the time to do it. But I want to. And so I need to find a time to do it. So starting very soon, I'm going to sit down and really think about what I'm doing here, because I love it. I really, really love it, and I want to love it even more. And even if that means more work, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with putting more time, more effort into a couple of things. Still having the dumb things, like 99 bottles, Steam freebies. Those are all just very easy things to dispense because I just think they're fun. But then I can do that and work on bigger things. I just need to properly use my time and resources. So I'm gonna think about that. And maybe some of this media that you guys saw today will not be lost. The last thing I have before we leave today is this. We'll actually have a little rapid fire because I was looking through my drive. Here's the snake picture that I was talking about where I had like a snake and then it kind of got more and more crazy. This is just a random thing. I can't honestly make out half the words that are there, but I guess like the little birds dancing. That was a project I turned in. This is just, the lumberjack throwing axes at pterodactyls with guns because why not, I thought it was fun. This one, Spongy Bubble. I don't know. I saw the little purple line there. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to draw SpongeBob. It's clearly SpongeBob, right? This is a frog. Here's a frog. Just drew a frog on some more chemistry stuff because he's a frog. This is actually one of my criminology tests back where, I had a whole thing where I drew like a little animal magic talent show, and I was like, rate it. And he said, put in a background. I was like, oh, dude. Actually put some thought into it. But here is the main thing that I want to talk about for the last bit of this. Oxycarbon. This is a project that I did in chemistry, as you can tell from Oxycarbon. It is a comic that I made because this was a project. They gave us like a specific sort of like molecule, and we were supposed to draw like a ad for it, or like a comic for it, or like a page in a newspaper for it, or something stupid. And I decided, hey, I'm going to draw Billy Mays because we got carbon 14, and I was like, carbon, oxycarbon, OxyClean. I just ran with it. It was supposed to be a group project. The group didn't want to do any of it, so I drew this. This is all me, as you can tell from how horrible it is. And so for those of you who can't read it because my handwriting is terrible, I will read it for you because this is the best picture I can get of it because I couldn't know how to save it. And luckily the teacher asked if I wanted to take a picture before I turned it in because they told me I wasn't going to get it back. So I took a picture, but I didn't know how to save it. So I saved it onto a Google Doc. so this is on a Google Doc. It's not saved as a photo anywhere. It's only on a Google Doc. So here it is. And it says, Hi, Billy Mays here. Has this ever happened to you? You're just sitting around in your favorite shirt when all of a sudden it spontaneously combusts into flames. Sucks, right? But wait, there's more. What if that shirt you were wearing was so old it became worth thousands? How would you know this? How would you know this? Oh, I can get a better zoom in on the one I have. There we go. How would you know this? By calling oxycarbon, of course. And then there's a little guy in the corner going, but what does it do? And then there's Billy Mays in the third panel on the left there going, oxycarbon is a carbon dating service so you can tell how old your clothes really are. Oxycarbon uses the dating power of carbon-14. This was like Flash. Carbon-14's proper isotopic state is 14.6C. Its half-life is 5,715 years, and its decay model is beta negative. Whatever that is. And Billy Mays over there like, why did I just say that? Because I'm legally required to. Legal requirement. But wait, there's more. Oxycarbon also deals with bones, wood, plant fibers, whatever that looks like, because I put a question mark. How it works is you would send in your clothes and we carbon date them. Your clothes in a box, how old are they? It's that easy! And I made it a point to have his arms get even fucking crazier throughout the entire thing, because I didn't know how to draw consistent arms at all. Carbon-14! Oxycarbon, it brings the old years out! Call Oxycarbon now, and then just 249 payments of $24.99. Carbon dating will only work on cloth clothing, and items under 60 years of age can be dated. And it must be 5,715 years or old to order. And then I made him dabbing in the side there. That's my name. That's my name right there. And then I also wrote, I'm not sorry, which is really funny. My teacher looked at me like, you turned it into a Billy Mays ad as a comic. And I'm like, yes, ma'am. And then we ran with it. And it was awesome. And I don't remember what the grade I got on it was, but I'm just happy that I did it. That took a couple of tries, if I'm being honest. I wasn't... At one point I made it, and I wasn't very happy with it, so then I just drew it again, and I was pretty happy with it. But yeah, just a lot of stuff. Just a lot of stuff that I'm really glad I still have to remind me of things I did, but also, you know, it's a lot of stuff that I wish I both still did, and wish I had memory. I wish I had like a physical proof of, which sucks that I don't have it, but you know, at least I have some things, you know. Yeah, that's really about it for today, everybody. I'm sorry, this is kind of like I tried leaving it on a bit more of a happier note here. But, you know, I'm just kind of, I'm not in the dumps, but I'm thinking. I'm thinking, and when I think apparently very melodramatically. So yeah, I'm gonna do some thinking. And we're going to, first of all, eventually, what I'm going to do, and quote me on this, by 12 Days of Curious comes out, I'm going to figure out how to at least get new episodes of this onto Spotify. Because I know G-Spree, long running, like a really cool dude, makes a lot of cool stuff. Go look up his account if you haven't seen him on YouTube. He's awesome. He's a very funny dude. He's watching some of my stuff, and he was like, hey dude, this would be great on Spotify, and I listened to it at work and stuff, and that was like a couple months ago at this point, and I told him I'd figure it out. It's been a couple months, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out, I promise. Hopefully in the next couple weeks, but if not, probably when I'm on vacation and I actually have time to sit down and do the things that I've been meaning to do for so long. And I'm probably going to be taking my vacation as like 2 weeks, like together, because that's, my manager was like, wouldn't it be so funny if we just put them together? I'm like, haha, yeah. And so I think it's what's happening. So I don't really care when it happens. I just hope I just want it to happen so I can just sit down. The first day is probably going to be just chilling, really chilling, and like just playing, like either both getting like a game plan and just chilling. And then we're going to, you know, game it out. And it's going to be cool. So yeah, hopefully I can get a bunch done, because that's the end goal for me. I hate wasting days. I hate feeling like I wasted a day doing not what I wanted to do. So we're gonna try and prevent that from ever happening ever again. Which is never gonna happen, but one can dream big, right? So sorry, it's a bit of a longer one. Didn't expect it to go for almost an hour, but here we are. Thank you for going along this journey with me, all, because again, this is genuinely just, it was a trip down memory lane, and honestly, I'm really happy to have taken the trip. So, anything you guys have, you know, like just like old comics, old drawings, old videos you made when you were younger, don't send them to me, but you can talk to me about them, because I don't want to like see you when you were like 8 years old, like playing with swords with your siblings or your friends or whatever. That's for you. You hold on to that and you treasure that. Because there's going to be a time where you're going to say, man, I wish I had video of that, or I wish I had a photo of that, or I wish I at least kept a memory of that. And that physical proof holds a lot of weight at those times. So thank you all, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.